The big Warcry Autumn update has just gone through, and wow, there's a lot of stuff. Skaven got updates, Iron Jaws got updates, we got the new Reclusians with the Ruination Chamber, we got the new Dark Oath have gone in, a whole bunch of Bladeborn have been updated, and there is a ton of stuff to unpack. So I'm going to break this down for you. We're going to go bit by bit. I've put together a number of videos for all of the updates. I'm going to put a link to a playlist that's going to go up there. You guys can check that out. But right now, we're going to take a look at the balance updates. We're going to look at the erratas. We're going to look at the points updates. So looking at the errata as a whole, what do we got? We've got some updates to reactions, we've got several battle trait fixes, we've got new units that have been added. Some of them we've been waiting a little bit longer for in case of the Iron Jaws. Some we have not been waiting so long for in case of the new Skaven, in the new Night Questor and the new Liberators. And then we have a number of points updates. A lot of them basically cover older Bladeborn, but some of them are actual balance updates, which I think could have a pretty big impact on the meta and how people play. And of course, finally, we have the new factions. We got the Ruination Chamber, we got Dark Oath, and we got Brand's Oathbreakers. We are going to start with the update to Tyrannic Cohorts. The only thing that they've done to change this is they've turned it into a bonus attack action. So now when you do a reaction, you're no longer giving up an additional activation to make an attack action. I think it's very good for the Tyrannic Cohorts. It means that they're not wasting an additional attack action just to be able to react. I don't know how much of an impact it will have on them overall, but you know what? Every little helps at this point. Going on to Cities of Sigmar, their battle tactic, Dawnbringer Zealots, they have clarified exactly how that is, so each of the 3 individual Cities of Sigmar factions all get access to Dawnbringer Zealots, and in addition, the real interesting thing is that you can have a mix of fighters with these rune marks in your warband. That's pretty big. You can do Cities of Sigmar soup style lists and not lose the Dawnbringer Zealot battle trait. If you're doing a pure cities list with the whole control-y, reactionary playstyle, I think it could be pretty good because it will stretch out the life of your guys who are using their reaction. Stormcast also, they get the same thing, right? They get to do Stormcast Soup, which is real exciting. You can see here there is a new rune mark in there. That's a new Ruination Chamber. So they have been added into Signs of the Storm, so they get access to that battle tactic also, which is very good for them. And what does this mean? It means that if you wanted to play Thunderstrike, for example, you can take any other Stormcast hero in your Thunderstrike warband, and that would still give you the teleport from Signs of the Storm. I think the most interesting thing about this is the Ruination Chamber. They have the ability to put both proper Stormcast profiles on the board, along with some much cheaper Griff Crows, and being able to ally in something like a Calthea, for example, into that warband and still keep the teleport. That's really good. Corvus Cabal, their battle tactic gets an update. It works now. So now they don't need to fall kind of in line, but not really to the changes that happened in April. If they move off of anything and they move vertically down 2 inches, they get +2 strength. If a fighter rampages, and it rampages 2 inches off of a building, it gets +2 to its strength for the extra attack actions it would have. I think this is pretty good. I know Toast has been working with Double Strike Talon. They are only strength 4, but jumping off of something, they will go up to strength 6 with their 5 attacks, which is potentially really good. Corvus Cabal has their triple swooping attack, which is basically old Rampage, but if you move downwards, you get to make your bonus attack action. So if you are in a position where you take an action to get up onto a thing, you can use swooping attack, get the move, make your bonus attack action. That bonus attack action is at +2 strength, and then you get to attack again at +2 strength. I think it's a very positive move for Corvus Cabal. I like to see them getting better, and they seem to be getting better and better every time Games Workshop touches them. So yeah, that's real exciting from their part. Gloomspite Gits, their ability has basically been clarified. Previously, it talks about at the start of the battle round, you can change your doubles, triples, or quads. At the start of the battle round, you haven't rolled any dice. So they basically clarified that as to when exactly you use the ability. I still think it's a strong ability. So you get to see what it is it's going to be. If you roll a very high number, you change one of your doubles, triples, or quads to high. If you roll very low, you change your opponent's quad into quad 2, for example. It works now. And hopefully we will see some more Gloomspite Gits players come forward. What else have we got? New units. We're going to start with new Stormcast. The Knight Questor has been added. I think this was from the Scaventide box set. 155 points. It's got a very wordy double here. So let's go through it. Ordained Quest. So you're going to pick a guy, pick an objective. You have to either kill the guy or you have to control the objective. If you use it previously, this cancels out and you can't use this ability again until you've completed your quest, okay, which is killing the guy or taking the objective. If you pick an enemy fighter for the rest of the battle, you get +1 attack made by this fighter and friendly Questor friendly Questor Soul Sworn fighters that target the enemy fighter. So this is real interesting. This thing is part of Thunderstrike Stormcast, but it works with Soul Sworn. That's interesting. I really like it as a tech for Questor Soul Sworn because you get to basically pick a guy and all you'll do is get +1 attack against it. It's got no range. I think that could be cool. If you picked an objective for the rest of the battle, this fighter and friendly fighters with the Questor Soul Sworn rune mark each count as one additional fighter when determining the player who controls that objective. I think the Knight Questor is decent. Would I take it in a normal Thunderstrike list? Probably not. Would I take it in a Questor Soul Sworn list as an ally? Yeah, I think I would. Who doesn't want just +1 attack on all your guys against a key enemy character? You can use this thing on turn 1 when you're not even anywhere close to attacking people, and then by the time your Soul Sworn get there, they could go in, they could do the attacks, get +1 attack. Unfortunately, you cannot combo this with the Questor Soul Sworn battle trait that allows them to use multiple abilities turn on turn, because this guy is Thunderstrike. Would you want to break the Questor battle trait by taking this guy? That I'm not so sure, but if you are looking to build Questor Soul Sworn with allies and with maybe like a Code Right or something, you could go like 4 Soul Sworn, the Knight Questor, and a Code Right. Gives you a little bit more ability to kill things with your Ground Hammers. You still get the movement of the Soul Sworn. You still get the ability turning off thing of the Code Right. So that might be a thing. This might be interesting. Liberators. You get new Liberators in the Scaventide box, and so what they've done is they've taken the time just to mash all of the profiles together. They have taken the Liberator with paired Warblades and Warhammers, mashed them together to make dual Sigmarite weapons. The interesting thing is that they used to be Warrior Chamber, now they're Thunderstrike. So I think what they're doing is they are toning down some of those superfluous Stormcast chambers, stuff that people just don't use anyway. So maybe Warrior Chamber could be going at some point in the future. We know that Sacrosanct Chamber is basically going off of sale, so maybe this is the first step in Games Workshop's way to trim down that Stormcast line, make it somewhat more manageable. Next up, we've got the Liberator Prime. So you've got the normal Liberators and you've got the Prime, paired Warblades and paired Warhammers. They've mashed together. They got a little bit cheaper, basically the same as the paired Warblade Liberator, so it's okay. We've got the Shield Liberators as well, have been mashed together. They've actually gone up in points. They're now 150. It has effectively the profile of double hammers, but with a toughness 6. And you can choose, all right, do I want to pay 140 for a normal guy with toughness 5, or do I want to pay 150 for a guy with the same melee profile, but toughness 6. Finally, we have the Liberator with Ground Hammer is now the new Liberator with Ground Hammer. Again, we've gone from Warrior Chamber to Thunderstrike. Exactly the same profile, except it's lost 1 point of crit in there. Overall, I'll take the 5-point discount over that extra point of crit. I think that's okay. It gets a new double Laylo the Tyrants. So this is a new version of Laylo the Tyrants. This is actually really good as an ability. At its base level, it is Onslaught, because you get +1 attack for both of your attack actions, but you also get +1 strength. And then if you're swinging against anything else, you go to a 4-6-4-4 damage profile. I like it. I like the idea of putting in a Liberator with Ground Hammer in there just for this ability. I think it's a solid piece of damage for the points that you're paying. Also, wouldn't be complete without mentioning Ironjaws and Skaven. Ironjaws basically have a new way to play now. All of their Ard boys have changed. They got some new units, so I've put them in separate videos. Similarly with the Skaven, with their new units, they got some cool things. I'm going to do Ironjaws list building and Skaven list building, a little bit about that in those videos also. I'm going to put a link up there or down there, wherever it is, which will point you towards those videos where we break down the Ironjaws changes and additions, break down the Skaven changes and additions, and you'll be able to see exactly what's going on for them. I've noticed 58% of you guys are not subscribed, so here's my call for you. If you like what you see and you want to see more videos, Please don't forget to subscribe. It costs you absolutely nothing and it helps me out a ton by helping me get noticed more on YouTube and helping me get my videos out to more people. And also, if you want to give me some more support and you want to throw that my way, you can join me over here on YouTube as a member, you can join me over on Patreon, and you can join me over on Streamlabs. Either way, you're going to get to see behind the scenes content, you're going to get to see stuff before it even comes out on YouTube, and you're going to have a little bit of a say into the kind of content I'm creating going forward. Next up, we have a whole bunch of points updates. The bulk of it is basically Old Bladeborn. There's a lot of chatter in the community about the Old Bladeborn and about how they're either busted or they are unplayable. There's no in between. You either have to take them or you forget about them. Games Workshop has taken efforts to update the points costs on a lot of those Old Bladeborn fighters, bring them up into kind of a more modern pointing system. So this will allow you to use them in your battles as normal. An interesting thing about this, I think, is that it grants legitimacy to the old Tome of Champions. Whereas before, the idea was like, oh, Tome of Champions, it was for a previous edition. Do we use it now? Should we use it now? People just accepted that you could use it, and we did. But now this basically makes all of those profiles legitimate because they are in the most up-to-date FAQ for Warcry. There's a lot of points changes going on, so I urge you to go check that out yourself. Maybe your favorite Bladeborn is in there, and maybe now it's become nicely playable. There is a whole bunch of stuff that Games Workshop have done additionally. These are more kind of traditional balance changes, so let's talk about that. The first thing I want to talk about is the Marauders. We know that Marauders were one of the best chaff in the game. Basically, after that April update, these guys were one of the last bastions of very cheap, affordable chaff that you could just spam out and then bring whatever allies you wanted. Giving them a little 5-point boost means that over the span of your warband, you're looking at maybe a 20 or 25-point increase, which restricts the other things that you can bring. So again, I think this is fine. I think Games Workshop knows what they are doing. They are really trying to bring in all those really super cheap chaff models and even the playing field between very large warbands and much smaller ones. Horns on his shirt, Flamehurler. Rip Flamehurler. I'm sorry, Horns. This has been a long time coming. I don't think anyone will be sad to see this go. Horns already got hit in the last update where their Shatterers went up in points and the Fomoroid went up in points. But what did they do? They basically got rid of the Fomoroid, brought in Vexmore, and then they used the additional points they had to basically run the same list. This is a much harsher hit to Horns of Hashut. If you're bringing a pair of Flamehurlers before, that's 30 more points that you have to find in your warband. I think this is a positive move. Is it the death knell for Horns of Hashut? Again, I don't think so, just because Flamehurlers are that good, and Shatterers, despite the increases, are still good. I just think that they will have to build warbands in such a way where they don't get everything that they want. You won't be able to bring your Varangard and your Vexmore, Fomoroid Crusher, whatever, and double Demolishers with Flamehurlers, and still put like a 7-8 man warband on the field. You won't be able to do that anymore. I think this is positive. Soulblight Gravelords, they have more hits. They remembered. Games Workshop totally remembered. If we go back to the April update, what did they do? They increased the points cost on basically all skeletons, all Graveguard, all zombies went up. All those really super cheap chaff, that all went up. This is the last piece of the puzzle where they took a look at Bladeborn. We've got the Sepulchral Warden has gone up by 10 points because for 120, real cheap. He's got the hero room up, which means he gets the res, so that's why people are bringing him. The Harvester was 50, now up 55. Regulus, sorry Regulus, you are not getting 40 or 45 point chaff anymore, Soulblight. So you're now up to 55. Petitioner with Sword also up to 55. So they fixed it. Hopefully we won't have any of these discussions anymore about Soulblight, Gravelord, just like good stuff, cheap things spam. They still have cheap things that are very good. They've still got Zondra's Gravebreakers. Those zombies are pretty good, but they are more expensive than the basic zombies. They've still got Dantalos and his zombies. They're still pretty good. I think that's far more palatable having 60 point or 70 point chaff in Soulblight as opposed to 40 point and 50 point chaff. Finally, what did Games Workshop do? We got the new Ruination Chamber that came out on Scaventide, and Oathbound are finally here. We get to play them. I think those models were released, earlier in the year sometime, I think in March or April. My brain is telling me. I may be wrong, but they're here now. So you get to play full Oathbound faction. They also put Gunnar Brand's Oathbound in there, so you get to play them with it. These two factions, I am really excited about. I think they have the chops to do pretty well. They warrant their own kind of big videos. They'll be coming in the next week or so. So yeah, you guys can look forward to that. And I definitely think that they're going to be something we're going to be seeing on top tables real soon. That's it from me for today. Thank you very much for watching. Tell me what you think about the new models that have been added. If you have any interesting lists, I'd like to hear that. Slap that down in the comment section below. We'll have a good talk. Or give me your thoughts about the update in general. If there are any things that you hit really well, any things that you think missed, that's something that I'd like to hear. As I said at the beginning, check out the other videos. I cover basically everything, and it'd be really interesting to hear your thoughts on them. As always, I've been Itan, this has been Off Meta Musings, and we'll see you next time.